Okay, welcome back everyone to another special episode of Yoda's Hut. I'm Bill, I go by Yoda Man on the boards, and once again I'm joined for commentary on this game by Derek. Hey Derek, how's it going?
Doing all right?
All right, so we are moving on to the top cut at the 2017 Star Wars LCG U.S. National Championships that were held at Nova. On the left in this game, we have Ethan Anderson, who goes by IAmBatman on the boards. He is playing a Galactic Enforcers affiliation. That's the Sith Navy with 7 card reserve. His deck list is 2 Power of the Dark Side, 1 Emperor's Web, 1 Killing Cold, 1 Agent of the Emperor, 1 Dark Lord of the Sith for his Sith cards. And for Navy, he's got 2 Might of the Empire, 2 Endor Entrapment, 1 Deploy the Fleet, and 1 Defending the Trench. And Xavier Jackson is on the right. He's one of the New York City guys, from what I know. He is playing the Mercenary Contact Smuggler Rebel affiliation with 7 card reserve. He's got in his deck 2 Calling in Favors, 2 Fortune and Fate, 1 Renegade Squadron Mobilization, 1 That Bucket of Bolts, and then for his Rebel sets, he's got 2 Defensive Yavin 4, 2 Fleeing the Empire, so he's got Core Leia in there, and 2 Command and Control. So some pretty interesting deck lists on Xavier's side, and we've seen Ethan's before in that earlier round. He got locked out completely of his Navy affiliation. I'm sure he's hoping that doesn't happen here in the top cut. so,
Mm-hmm.
so you got any initial thoughts on those decks as we get ready to go here? It looks like they're shuffling and maybe even had a mulligan from what I could tell.
Yeah, well, we already saw the dark side deck. He was just unfortunate that he didn't get any of his Navy objectives, so all
Right.
we saw was the Sith stuff. The light deck definitely is using some pods I haven't seen in God, I can't remember how long it's been.
Yeah.
Since I mean, we're talking about the 4 resource pod that does not refresh. We've got Lady Luck going in there. I can't remember that I've ever seen those in tournament play, but obviously the deck is doing fine since he made the top cut here. So
Yeah.
it's clearly he's using Leia and stuff like that to refresh some of these. So I'd
Right.
be interested to see how this deck works out.
Yeah, I like his and we've seen some interesting card sleeves in these terms. I like his the short stack sleeves on his objective deck since it is the short stack. That's pretty clever, Xavier. I give you props to that there. So I'd be curious to see if hopefully Ethan can manage to dodge getting locked out of Navy in this game. That was really unfortunate in his earlier game that we watched. Um, and it should be a pretty good, interesting matchup here with, I said, all this kind of the vehicles more or less for Xavier's side and the Sith stuff, with Dark Lord of the Sith and some of those things. It's really, a lot of it killing cold, that stuff in Ethan's deck are really meant to deal with characters. So be
Hmm.
a good matchup here to see how things end up. Well,
Yeah, but
maybe
he does have some heavy hitters over there, like the Chimera Pod, and
right.
he's got Gladiators, and I believe he's gonna have Tractor Beams in his deck as well, isn't
Yeah, he
it?
should because he's
Somewhere.
got might. There's tractor beams and might.
Yeah, so
Um,
that'll work against the vehicles on the other side.
Yeah, and so Xavier's got 2 calling in favors. That's the one that doesn't refresh unless you got the tricks to do it now. Certainly, if you can get rid of Core Leia, that would do it. So, to, like, get
Yeah.
all those resources back there. But
That set has some very interesting units. I know the main unit does refresh stuff like that, but it's
right,
got like each one has 2 copies of those blast boats that
yeah,
like double focus, but they have 2 black blast.
right, yeah.
So they can potentially do some serious damage. Whoops.
First store championship I ever played in, which I was fortunate enough to win. Um, I actually used 1 copy of Calling in Favors in my deck. It was
Hmm.
an all smugglers deck when everybody was riding high on May the Force be with you, and I was convinced that smugglers were still good. It wasn't that they suddenly got bad at that point. Now we're talking like 2.5 years ago, obviously, but and I was out to prove a point that day, and I won. So I guess I sort of proved my point. So it looks like uh, we got our objectives here. And did Ethan get locked out again? You've got to be kidding me. He's got Dark Lord, Power of the Dark Side, and Emperor's Web. And I just saw him pitch a gunship. And it looked like
Wow.
Xavier got Fortune and Fate, Fleeing the Empire, and I couldn't tell what the other objective was. We're getting the glare again.
Yeah, I can't
But
tell
I'm
that
pretty
one
sure it was
either.
a rebel one. I just didn't catch it real quick. I was
Hmm.
kind of like caught off guard by the what happened to poor Ethan again. So he's just going to play a Sith Library, it looks like, and actually paid for the Royal Guard champion to take balance. So
That's
I'll
not a
get
good
that up and
sign if you're
commit.
paying for him. You try and get him for free.
Yeah. So using
That,
Fleeing the Empire to put a shield on Fleeing the Empire there, Xavier.
yeah.
And we'll see what he if it's defense he had for. We'll see real quickly as we did in a previous game. Not somebody else was using defense he had for when they started pitching cards. So
Well, if he drops 7 resources worth of things, we may figure out really quick that it's the
yeah,
4 resource one as well.
yeah. I was pretty sure it was one of the rebel ones. I just didn't catch it real quick to see what it was.
Yeah.
My gut feeling was it was defense he had for, but we will find
Well,
out.
that would be the ideal one to have.
And there is a hidden outpost, so he's got a resource. And there is resupply depot. Oh,
Uh-oh.
that's going to certainly help. Nothing's ever bad about a first turn resupply depot when you got a vehicle deck.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And I
I
almost
still
saw it.
couldn't make
I
it
almost
out.
saw
Yeah.
it for a second. It was definitely Rebel. And is that the?
I think that's from Lady Luck's
Oh
set.
yeah, that's the technician. It's like when it leaves play or something, you can get it,
I,
draw a card. Isn't that what they do?
to tell you the truth, I have never used the Lady Luck set.
Well, I've played all those games with Jerry where we just use the suggested deck.
Yeah.
I've played lots of sets that you may not have now that I'm
Yeah.
thinking about it. But
Isn't it something like it's not necessarily when it leaves play, but when it like enters your discard pile or something
yeah,
like that,
maybe that's
where
what it
you
is. It
can,
might be when it goes to discard. I'm trying to pull it up
yeah.
here since it's been a while. Where are they? They are the Cloud City Technicians. After it enters your discard pile, you draw a card. So
Is that
that
what was
is the
Stolen Plans?
yeah, that's Stolen Plans from Leia's set, isn't it?
Yeah.
So more card draw, right?
I forget what that does. Is it he draws a card?
after you use that to generate a resource, you get to draw a card.
The
So
one thing that's in that 4 resource pod set that is really good is that Dirty Secrets card,
yeah,
which effectively you put it on your opponent's objective and it just blanks out the text of it.
right. Yep. So Ethan did keep balance there, so Dial's going to go to 3. It didn't look like Xavier had any ships to play, but he's kind of got himself set up. He got a lot of cards out of his hand. He's got Resupply Depot. He's got the Hidden Outpost out. He played Stolen Plans. He got the Cloud City Technician. So he's got 3 cards left, but he'll at least be able to pitch one of those on his turn. The
Yeah.
Technician got focused by Dark Lord Sith. And there's the fleet staging area. So at least Ethan has a chance to get some of the more expensive units out in his deck. And if he happens to draw the Death Squadron command post or whatever it's
Mm-hmm.
then
Yeah.
he could use that to get that out and be able to play Navy at will. So
Yep.
or in a pinch, I guess he could use if there's something else that is a deck that actually is a Navy resource, he could pay for that with that much, but maybe there isn't.
I don't think
Yeah, I
there
don't
is.
think
That's
there
3
is.
cost.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think there is.
3 or higher.
Wow, and he is just sending in the
Hmm.
wow, he just sent in the Royal Guard champion and did a damage. Oh, he's gonna play Rage and free it up. So
He's just pitching cards, I think, at this point.
yeah,
Now that he got something Navy.
that's definitely defense you have him for. I just caught a glimpse of it. I can see the
Okay.
ship. So this time he's gonna put a shield on the Cloud City Technician
Mm-hmm.
with Lee in the Empire, so you can put it on a unit or objective.
Now, can that shield absorb Dark Lord of the Sith?
I would
Because
think so because it's coming from an enemy card effect, so I think you can do that.
yeah, but isn't it you're voluntarily choosing where to put it? Can you do that and still absorb a shield?
Mm, it's a good question. I feel like you can, but maybe I'm forgetting it.
For some reason I'm thinking that the shield does not block that, but I don't know why. I can't put my finger on why. Besides what I just said.
Well, I'm pretty
Uh,
sure you can use shields to block things from an enemy card effect. I don't think it's going to matter. He's playing You're My Only
yeah.
Hope. So he's going to sack it. He's going to get to
Mhm.
draw two cards just with Your Only Hope, and when that goes to discard, he's going to draw two more, or one more. So he's going to get to draw three cards from this. And
Yep.
Ethan's got to choose and discard one.
Yep.
It looked like it might have been Battle Endor.
Yeah, won't get much use out of that.
No, not right now. I don't think there's any Endor on the table.
So he's got 6 resources to play with now,
Yeah,
plus
plus
the
it's
Yavin ability. So the
yeah,
question is, how many vehicles did he get?
right. He didn't look like he got much the first round, but maybe that was
Did
his
he?
plan.
Did he have pay or a payout in his deck? That
He's got one bucket of bolts, so he's got two well paid in
okay.
there.
So maybe he did have. Maybe he's got that in his hand, and that's why he went for a ton of card draw.
Yeah, could be. We'll find out in a second. The Royal Guard champion is free at least, but
It's one blocker,
yeah, not
and you've got the because of the resupply depot, you can just send your most worthless unit and give it a focus.
and there is another hidden outpost, so he's getting more resources here. So if he
Mm,
has well paid, he can't play it now because both of the hidden outpost
yeah.
is limited and so is well paid.
Yep.
He's still counting. He should have a lot of cards in his hand right now. Probably has nine. Well, eight because he already played a hidden outpost. Let's see. Paying four for and discarding.
I didn't even see what that was.
Is that home one? No, what is
Is that
that?
some kind of alternate art or something?
Yeah, it looked like he paid four, but he discarded one. So what?
Right.
What would that be?
It looks like an alternate art home one.
Yeah, I didn't think that was in his deck though. Is that the Falcon?
It's 5 cost.
Maybe it's maybe it's a Falcon.
Is that like one of the like not an actual FFG artwork? Is that
Yeah, maybe it
some?
isn't, or it could be Renegade Squadron.
I thought that stuff wasn't tournament legal. I thought you had to play
Yeah,
regular stuff in the tournaments.
maybe they let him play it. Maybe that's
Huh.
Renegade Squadron because it obviously costs five. It looks like it's got a few tactics on it, or like a few
Mm-hmm.
icons. Like maybe it's that. And I think Renegade Squadron only has two force pips.
Hmm.
So, and he used the uh, smuggler resource.
Well, he used both. He used
Yeah,
the Leia's objective as well.
right.
So
And he left two resources open in case he has a rebel assault or something. I guess he's
yeah, it
got a
looks
lot
like
of
it
cards
has
in hand.
4 icons. I
Yeah, I
think.
bet it's Renegade Squadron, some kind of one of those New York City alternate art cards that's making an appearance here in the Nationals.
Hmm.
And there is a target and the other one a heat. Oh, he pitched a Palpatine and something. Or is it? Yeah, a heat and a target. So he's gonna lose edge. Oh, was that I Have You Now? I think that other card was I Have You Now, and he got rid of the Renegade Squadron, even though he had a double
Hmm.
focus. That's a
Yep.
good use of that card.
And pairs good with Palpatine in an edge battle.
Yeah, so the dial is going to go to five. Yeah, he's lucky that didn't get twisted away. Because
Yeah.
there's twists in Xavier's deck. Yeah, so I Have You Now. That must have been what that one. I saw the one pip. I didn't think. I was just looking at it. I saw like one edge. I didn't realize that was I Have You Now till that ship that I think was probably Renegade Squadron got moved.
Well, yeah, I was thinking because if it was a heat, he would have been able to kill a 3 pip or a
Right.
3 health. We should have been looking at the health of that unit. If it was 5 health, then we'd know it was Renegade Squadron.
Yeah.
I
I
couldn't
couldn't
tell.
tell. There's another Sith library. It looks like. And, well, Ethan actually has something he can play here. I hope so for his sake. Playing two. There's an ice tromper. Not going to do a
Mm,
lot against the vehicles, but at least it's a body.
yeah.
And he's still got two resources, definitely, possibly three if he actually had a navy.
Yeah, to use that one resource, it has to be
Three or higher.
three or higher, but it also has to be Navy, right?
Yeah, right.
You can't use it like to help play Palpatine or something.
Exactly. And there is a rebel assault, it looks like. Oh, this looks alternate R2. I bet he's going to rebel assault the ice tromper here. So he has a
Well, there
clear
actually
board.
is Rebel Assault,
Oh,
though.
okay. So that is.
They did make alternate art for that one. I
Yeah,
think
I
it
don't.
was like last year's Gen Con or something.
All right, so he actually hit web with that for two, rather than getting a free board. Probably because
Well, he's probably playing vehicles, is
yeah,
why.
it's not much use of worrying about the ice tromper kicking something out. So he shielded defense Yavin 4 there and
But
drawing up.
he's got to be careful about taking out uh an objective because then you might get him into his Navy resources.
Right, so he might need to do, like we saw earlier, I think it was Mick, that you just don't attack until you know you can just get all three on the same turn so you don't risk the Navy thing flipping up.
Well, it's okay to attack, but you don't want to
Yeah,
finish
I
him
mean,
off.
yeah,
You want
don't
to
blow
damage
up
him.
something. Yeah, don't finish something off, is what I meant.
Yeah.
And Dial is at 5. So we'll see what he can do here. There's the central computer. That lets you draw a card from the bottom of your deck when you have to draw, if you
Hmm.
want to. It's also just a resource. It's a
Yeah.
smuggler resource on top of that, which never hurts. Get a resource affiliation matching resource there.
He's got tons of resources, but he just doesn't have any units right
I see
now.
Pilot Han in his hand, but I gotta think you want to put him on a ship since Dark
Mm.
Lord's out and since that Ice Chopper's out. He should have a ton of ships. I wonder where the heck they are.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the Fancy on 4 ones. He's got the blast boats. He's got all the ones in command and control. He had one Renegade Squadron that got blown up. Or I hit by Abu now. He's got Bucket of Bolts. So he's got Falcon. He's got Fortune of Fate. So he's got two Lady Luck. So
Hmm.
really, I mean, he's only got a couple guys in there that couldn't be pilots. Let's see, what's he paying? I'm gonna assume it's going to be a ship. Xavier's just getting some bad draws here. I guess he's rethinking. Maybe he's not paying two for something.
Well, he still has five resources actually, plus
Right.
the Yavin ability.
Yeah.
Let's see what he's going to add here.
Okay.
Oh, he's doing that, and then he's drawing cards,
Yeah, he did
sacking
the
it again to draw
operative. Yeah.
cards, and that'll make him discard another card over there.
Yep. He really could use some ships here.
Well, that's probably what he's fishing for.
Yeah, I would think so. There's a
There's a blast
blast
boat.
boat.
He's like, what is that thing? I haven't
Yeah, I
seen
don't,
that ever.
couldn't tell what he pitched. It looks something smuggler he pitched. Maybe it been another central computer or something.
Yeah, blast boats are fun. I like them.
Yeah, he's got one resource, or he's still got two resources. Plus, he could potentially do the. Looks like he drew a well paid there. He must not have other ships. Otherwise, I think he would have played that.
Yeah. Well, he might be waiting.
Yeah, maybe he's got another rebel side. He's gonna blow up
Oh,
Webb.
that's risky.
Ice Chopper is going to block.
I don't know that I would blow up Webb here. Because Well,
And he
so there's
twisted.
one other thing though. If he does draw into a Navy unit, that turns off Dark Lord of the Sith,
Right, right. That's
and
true.
possibly, I mean, maybe he does have units in his hand, and they just happen to be characters.
That's true. So,
So maybe he's going for that at this point.
looks
But
like,
I think it's really dangerous to give him access to the second half of his deck.
yeah, it looks like Ethan won that edge battle. So he did a damage to the blast boat, and Xavier is gonna. He pitched a card to give the blast boat a tactics with resupply depot, and then he blew up Emperor's Web. So yeah, that's a good point. So he's gonna. If he gets another navy, if he gets a navy objective, it's going to give him access to it, but Dark Lord will be turned off. So, but
Hmm.
again, I'm not sure how many people he'd actually want to play. And there is
Deploy the fleet.
deploy the fleet. So he got a
So
navy
now,
objective. Now he can play stuff at least.
how much you want to bet the first thing he plays is a control room?
Well, if he has it, I'd play it.
By now, I would think he has it.
Yeah, unless he pitched it an edge, but I
Let's
didn't
see.
see any. He's only got two in his deck, so
Yeah, that's true.
bigger thing is now he can put stuff out there that's navy.
Well, not only that, he can, because deploy the fleet, he can put a bunch out there if he wants to
Right.
damage it.
Yeah, I'm not sure you want to do that against this vehicle deck, though. I think think you want to avoid doing that if you can.
Yeah, I mean, if you can. What is that?
There's
Hey,
the
it's a
control
control
room.
room! Called that one.
All right. So Dark Lord is now turned off.
He still has 8 resources now, though, plus deploy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, you don't want to turn it off against the vehicles, but you know what? If you drop a couple gladiators and you get the Chimera out there, you might be in pretty good shape.
He looked like he just passed turn. Oh my
That
gosh.
is surprising.
Yeah. Is he just having some of the worst draws ever here that there wasn't a single thing he could put in?
Well, he's had the resources to where he could have played big Sith stuff. So unless
Yeah.
he's sitting there with a fistful of events,
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's possible, but
I mean, he's had 2 units all game, and now he has the resources to play them. Plus the Palpatine he pitched in Edge,
yeah.
but
But he
now he's
had,
got the
yeah,
resources to play anything.
right, he's got three palps, so he should still have two more. So so Xavier's got eight resources. His blast boat's locked down, although and I don't think he has any Cloud City operatives in his deck, so he can't just clear it off that way.
Yeah.
And he pitched Talon card, but he should have another one.
Talon is the way to remove
Yeah.
the focus tokens. I'm kind of surprised he pitched him because he's very useful with everything in his set.
All right, so it looks like he's paying for five for something. That's full cost. There is a Falcon. And probably Han's going on that Falcon.
On pilot, I'm guessing,
Uh,
or
rethinking
not.
how he wants to pay it. You gotta play Pilot Han, don't you?
I would think so.
I
I
guess the
mean, it
one.
makes
Yeah,
the Ice Trumper's not really a threat anyway.
yeah. I mean, I guess you could be worried about getting hit with lightning,
Yeah,
and then you lose Han and the Falcon after you strike.
I think he changed the way he paid for it, didn't he? He just discarded a card
Yeah, I
instead
think
and sold it
so.
for 4.
Yeah, so he only paid four, and there is. Oh, I can't see what
Uh,
that is.
it's
There's,
short on the
yeah,
text.
there's Pilot Han
It
on
costs
Falcon.
2 and it's very small.
Y
There it is.
wing.
A Y-wing. I was thinking it was a Y-wing. Yeah, see now he can use Pilot Han, focus the Ice Chopper, and then get in with a Y-wing as well.
Yeah, I think that's sounds like a real good play there, Derek. I gotta think you're right. That's what Xavier will do. I mean, you don't want to send them both in, do you? Well, I guess you could. You could blow
Well,
up something.
yeah, he's getting ready to deploy the fleet.
Yeah, all right, that makes sense. So he can blow up.
And yeah, he's probably just doing it and saying that the Ice Chomper can't block
Right.
and
Yes.
calling it good.
Right. So that'll guarantee his second objective there.
Hmm.
And then if he wants to throw a focus on something, he can too. So yeah, so he's striking with Falcon. I'm guessing, yeah, Falcon's gonna get lightning.
Yeah. So that means it's not going to blow it up. He's going to be one short, unless he used the control room afterward.
No, he
No.
used he he had four blast when he was gonna get unopposed because the Y wing had two and Falcon had two because it was they won edge.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I
Yeah,
was forgetting the
but it
unopposed.
looks like he didn't use resupply depot. That's a little surprising. He could have locked down that
He
whole
must really
guard.
like the card in his hand.
There is a Might of the Empire. So
Yep.
Dow's at 7. Xavier's blown up 2 objectives here. Ethan has just been drawing dead in this game. I feel bad for him. I mean, your
We
only
still haven't
units are.
seen a good chunk of his deck,
I know when your only units
between
are
the two games.
the Ice Tromper and the Royal Guard champion that you had to actually pay for turn 1 because he had been locked out of Navy at the start. I think Xavier's in a pretty good position here, especially with that resupply depot out. There's a Vader's meditation chamber for free thanks to the Royal Guard champion.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is, I mean, he's not taking force. His deck obviously doesn't want to. It doesn't care.
Right.
But if he somehow does not win on this next turn, the Dow will be at 9, and then he could lose with 2 objectives. So,
Paying 6 for
with all the
something.
resources out there, and there's something like Palpatine, there's some potential that he could all of a sudden come back here.
So, yeah, Palpatine's going to help. And there is that Vader's tie, I think, too. And he's managed to avoid, like,
Yeah, I don't think he's used Dark Lord of the Sith all game.
yeah. I mean, and at this point, it probably really wouldn't hurt because if he's not planning to attack, which can't imagine he is, then you could use that resource. Although I guess maybe you could send Vader's tie in if you wanted to and lock down the Y wing or something.
Yeah,
Get
and
some
because
damage on something.
that's exactly what I was thinking, because the blast boat is locked down.
Right.
Or no, it's not. It's only got one focus on it.
Right, but it's got a shield.
Yeah, and a damage is. I was thinking that was 2 focus, but
Right.
yeah, you use Vader's tie, lock down the Y wing, so it's one less thing you have to worry about, and get a couple damage over there. And then, like I said, it's possible to come away and just maybe next turn he drops something like a Star Destroyer
Yeah.
and is able to win if
Right.
he's able to finish this turn off.
So looks like Ethan just passed turn, so he didn't attack, and that's leaving the Y wing and the blast boat ready to shoot. And I guess he left the shield on the blast boat. He must have decided usefully in the Empire there. So the question is, Ethan really is going to need to win an edge battle, I think is what it's going to boil down to. Because if Xavier gets a bunch of units out, Palpatine won't be able to lock everything down, and then he'll be able to use resupply depot potentially.
Well, I bet he uses that well paid right here. Yep,
There's
there
well
it goes.
paid.
So now is when he could potentially just swarm everything.
Yeah. So there's independence.
Ugh.
So that'll make the next capital ship reduced by 1. Or every
That
capital
makes
ship.
all capital
Right.
ships reduced by
Plus
1.
he's played well paid, so that means the Corvette's only going to cost you 2.
2,
And you
he
get to
draws
draw
a
a card.
And
He's going to have a shield
still
from
going here.
Independence.
He's down. He has 1 resource left on the objective, I think.
Yeah,
is
he's
all.
got 1 resource left. He's got resupply depot. I think you send them all in after Power of the Dark Side, maybe shield up the Corvette or something. And that should end up doing it. Palpatine won't be able to lock everything out.
Oh, you always got to be afraid of something like a heat that could take out the Y wing.
Yeah, but that's all right. I think you just. I mean, you're gonna have the shield on the blast boat already, and he's gonna probably put the shield on the Corvette, I would think, because that's got the two black blasts.
Yeah.
So, and then Independence has a black blast, so
Yeah, point being that he's got four Black Blast that is currently shielded.
right,
I bet he's probably should be going for the middle location that has one damage on it
right.
already.
Plus, he's got resupply depot,
Yeah.
which certainly could be a blast. And yeah, I gotta think he's going for power of the dark side. And now, if Ethan might wish he had that I have you now back, that would be about the main thing that could save him right here.
Mm.
Or if he had a couple heats or something. But I don't think he does. There's a visage that won't hurt, and there's a target on Xavier's side. So
That should do it because the target plus the resupply depot effectively adds two. So
right,
he can go with 4 damage with either the blast boat or the Corvette, and he only needs 4.
yeah,
So either one of them should be able to do it on their
right.
own.
I think that's it. I think Xavier just won. He just kind of
Yeah.
pointed out he could win there. So a good win for Xavier. Poor Ethan got locked out of Navy again at the in the top cut. That just is. I feel like I said I feel bad for him with that. I mean, we talked about before that unfortunately that's what can happen when you're doing those split affiliation decks. I mean, it's not that likely, but it can happen. It's kind of crazy it happened to him twice in the same tournament, though.
Yeah, well, obviously, it probably never happened besides that, or he wouldn't have made the top cut
Right,
at
right.
all. So the deck obviously functioned well without that, but you almost wonder if maybe he had one Navy or something, but wanted Dark Lord of the Sith or something like that. But I can't imagine he would voluntarily choose to do that.
No, I can't imagine you choose to do that either. With you
Because
need the
both
Navy stuff.
times he had Dark Lord of the Sith, but he
Right,
didn't have any Navy, and
right,
that's you don't want Dark Lord at all if you don't get Navy.
right.
So he only had one copy of Dark Lord in his deck, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Well, so congrats to Xavier for moving on to the winners bracket here and the cut to the top four. And Ethan will still get a chance since it's double elimination. He'll play I guess the loser of the other round or the top four match, which I think was actually Josh Johnson and Yeezus was the other matchup there. So which we Ketracel unfortunately didn't get to record. He can only do one game at a time, but he's got more games from the top cut that we'll be able to bring you coming up soon. So you got any final thoughts before we wrap this one up, Derek?
no, I mean it seemed like the light deck pretty much did what it was supposed to do, although it did seem relatively slow in doing it. So it makes me wonder if you had an aggressive dark side player, if you wouldn't just get smacked around
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I mean, I think
Or had there been, had he built a board to where he had some focus and had some defense out there, where, the light side deck obviously is another one of those that's not likely to win many edge battles,
mhm,
if he would have been able to get through it all.
right, right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure either one of them drew great at the beginning. I think Xavier just kind of started getting his stuff better towards the end,
Hmm.
and Ethan was sort of like stuck again because he was locked out of Navy. But all right, so once again, I'll give a shout out to Catracel and Nate Tripp for recording the games and letting us do the commentary for him here at Yoda's Hut. Thanks to Xavier and Ethan for letting the game be recorded here from the top cut so we can bring them out to you. And thanks as always for joining me for commentary, Derek. Appreciate it.
Yep, anytime.